In this video, I'm going to show you how to compute zonal statistics for an Earth engine image or image collection using zone, basically vector data. And so one example is that you might want to calculate, let's say, for example, the total population for each state or for each country, or you might want to calculate the average elevation for each polygon. You might have a shape file contains multiple polygons, and you want to calculate some statistical values based on each polygon, each region. Okay, so next, let's go to the website to download the notebook example. You can go to tutorials.gmap.org and then click Analysis, Zonal Statistics. Upper right corner, click the download icon. Download this one to your computer, and then open Anaconda prompt. Anaconda activate. Jupyter Notebook. Click Enter. And it's open Jupyter Notebook, then navigate to the directory GE zonal statistics. So in this example, I'm going to show you two ways. You can calculate the zonal statistics for one image. You can also do that for time series images. And first, let's execute the source code and create the interactive map so that you can add some data to display the data on the map. Next, let's add some data. So in this example, we're going to use a couple data sets. The first one here is the USGS DEM. So this is global DEM 30-meter resolution. And this is how we're going to visualize the DEM. And then we add the DEM to the map. The second one is Landsat data, Landsat 7. And how we're going to visualize, add the data. And also the last one here is the United States polygon. So from 2018, and just hit run, you should get the 3 data layers loaded on the map. You can turn the layers on and off. You can do Google Map, like SRTM, the DM, the Landsat data, and also the United States. So the United States is for the US, but for the DM and the Landsat data, these two are global scale. So you can actually use that if you want to calculate the statistics for other countries or other regions. And so the first one we're going to use is the global DM. What we are trying to do here is to calculate the mean elevation for each state, right? So in here we have 50 states, and we're trying to figure out, for example, which state has the lowest mean elevation and which one has the highest. You can actually calculate all the statistical values for each polygon in here. And so next, let's go through the steps how to calculate the zonal statistics. First, you need to set the output directory, and we are going to download this one to our downloads folder. And let me open my downloads folder here. Right now it's empty, nothing here yet, but we're going to set the output directory, and then you can set the file name, the output file name we're going to use. So in this case, we're going to name it as DM states.csv. So for the output, you can output as a CSV. You can also output as a swap file or GeoJSON or KML if you want. But for simplification, we're just going to download as a CSV. Then we can open the data using Excel to look at the results. Once you define the output file path, then you can just use the function gmap.zonal statistics and then parentheses. If you want to see more information about the function, you can just put your cursor within the parentheses and then press Shift Tab on your keyboard to bring up the function definition. So the first one here we need is the in raster and also in zone vector. So the raster here is the DM, the zone, the vector is the United States polygon. And the third one is the output. So where do we want to output this one? And also the statistical type is we want to calculate the mean elevation for each US state. And the last one here is the scale. So what kind of scale you're going to use? The DM here, this one is 30-meter resolution. But for this example, we're just going to use 1 kilometer. If you're trying to try a smaller one, sometimes it might exceed the memory, so you can always change to a larger scale if you run into errors. Okay, so just hit run and let's see the results. Okay, it only took less than 1 second, and now we have the statistical results. You just need to double click to open the file. And so you will see the mean column, right? Depends on the statistical type you use. This is the mean. And then from the right here, you should see a bunch of other columns. So these columns actually come from the vector data itself, and this is the new one that we added to the vector data. But this is the column that we care about, and you can actually do the sorting. So we can go to data and then just sort. You might want to expand. Let me select all of them, data, sort, and then from here we can just select mean, smallest to highest, right? And now you see here, this is 13, 14, all the way to 2095. You can look at the corresponding states, right? So which state has the lowest mean elevation is Delaware, right? So if you come back to the map, you can actually visualize the result somewhere in here. So Delaware is, I think it's this one here. If you don't know it, you can click, you can turn the layer off. You can take a look at Google Map, right? So here, this is Delaware. It's a coastal state, and it's no surprise. It's usually coastal states have lower elevation, right? So if you overlay on the map, this is what you see here on the map, all green color. If you look at the western states here, if you see the white color, these are all the higher elevation. So it means that you most likely you're gonna get high average mean elevation here in this state. We can again open the Excel spreadsheet, and you can look at the last one, 2095 Colorado. So if you come back to the map here, Colorado, this one, you can also open the inspector. You can click on the map in here, and so this one is Colorado here, right? So you have all the white color. That means it's higher elevation. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the zonal statistics for one image, and the image only has one band. But you can also calculate the zonal statistics for an image with multiple bands. So the next one we're going to use is to calculate the statistics for Landsat. Okay, so for the Landsat data, you can, let me turn this one off. So for the Landsat data, in this example, we have 7 bands, right? If you want, you can click the inspector, you can click on the map to look at the band values, right? So from B1 all the way to B7. You can also look at the spectral signature. So if you click here and then select Landsat, you click on the map, you should be able to see the spectral signature, right? B1 all the way to B7. And B7 is a thermal band. So if you don't want the thermal, you can actually just don't select the thermal band. You can do it somewhere in here. Just select B1 to B5 and then B7. Once you have the image, then we can do the same thing. We can calculate the zonal statistics. The lines here, the source code is pretty much very similar. You set the file path. So this one we are going to name as Landsat CSV, and you calculate the zonal statistics, right? The image, the vector, the output, and the type. So the type in here we are going to use sum. As I mentioned earlier, you can calculate the mean, maximum, minimum, median, standard deviation, min, max, and variance, and also sum. And you can also calculate the define the scale, right? So the larger the number, the less time is going to take. The smaller the number, you're going to get more accurate, but it takes longer. And in this example, we're just going to use 1 kilometer as the scale, and let's hit 1 and see what we get. Okay, we already have the results. Then you can open the file to take a look. So this one, right, as I mentioned, it has 7 bands. So we have 7 values for each band has 1 value, and this represents the sum of all the pixel values within each polygon, right? So for the first one here, this is a Virgin Island, but you can have that for all the states. And this is how you can do zonal statistics easily, just using one line of code. And these are all the polygon attributes. And there's the new one added to the polygon. Again, we export it as a CSV, but you can also export as a swap file if you want. Okay, let me close this. So the next example I'm going to show you is to calculate the time series statistics for using zonal statistics. In this example, we're going to use MODIS data, right? Let me execute and see the map first. This is normalized difference vegetation index, and we're using MODIS data from 2018, the month of 2018, April 2018. So this is May 1st, but the second one here is not included. It's not exclusive. And so from April 1st to April 30, and then we select the Landsat the normalized difference vegetation index band, and then we set how we're going to visualize that. And we select the first image, display the first image, and then set the location. So this is the first image you're going to see in here. But this one here is basically a time series image, and it has because we have the entire month, we have 30 days. So you're going to have 30 images within this image collection. And in order to calculate the zonal statistics for image collection, we need to convert this one to an image. So essentially you have 30 images. Now we put those 30 images, combine them as one single image. And each band within the image represent 1 month of the 1 day of the data. And you can use this one collection to bands. This is if you're using the older version of GMap, you need to do this one. But for the latest one, you don't need to convert it by yourself. It's automatically handled within the function. So if you use the latest version, you don't need to do this anymore. Anyway, so just in case you are using an older version of GMap, then you can convert this one and then add the time series to the map. But by default, we use false. That means we don't show the map. So if you click here, now you should see this one. And the color, because if you're using multi-bands, you cannot set the palette. So the palette here is just for one band, and you won't be able to use that for multi-band images. But if you add this one, you can actually use the inspector. For example, click this one, and inspector to take a look at the pixel values, right? So if you click here, it's going to show you that this layer, this is the name of each layer, and you get all the pixel values, right, from April 1st to all the way to April 30. And you can click other location, you're able to get all the values. What we are trying to do here using zonal statistics is to calculate the within each state with each polygon, what's the mean NDVI, what's the mean NDVI for each state. You can also use the plotting tool here, and then select time series. And if you click on the map, you should also be able to see the temporal trend of the NDVI, right? So vegetation, it depends on location that you click. The spectral signature will be different, right? So it changes from month to month. This is how you can inspect the value, but you can only do that for one pixel. If you want to do that for the entire state, different polygon, then you need to use the zonal statistics too. And this is why we are doing in here. And so again, very similar. You set the output file name, and we're going to use the ndvi.csv, and then passing the image, right? So the MODIS, the state polygon, output file pass. We want to calculate the mean and set the scale. Hit run. It should take a couple seconds, depends on the region, depends on the file size. It might take a couple minutes, but usually it should be within 1 minute. You should be able to get the result. And in this output, we expect that we're going to have 30 columns, right? So each column represent one band, one image. And eventually, if you have those data, then you can use Excel or other software actually to do more statistical analysis if you want. But this is what we are trying to do here, is to give you a way that to calculate zonal statistics without having to download anything, without having to download the image, without having to download the polygon. We only export the final result. So save you tons of time. If you're trying to download data at a global scale, it's going to take a while. And so now it's just a few lines of code, you can get the result easily. Okay, so now we have the result. Then we can open the Excel CSV and to take a look at the result. As I mentioned earlier, we have 30 bands. So each band it's going to have one column of data. You can take a look at this in here, right? Second one, third one. And you can scroll to the right to look at all the pixel values. So the last one here is April 30. And you can also look at the name of each state. So you need to scroll to the right to look at the name. And then you can, if you want, you can export this one. You can do more statistical analysis using Excel or using Python pandas to do calculation. But this is what you can quickly go through. For example, within all the states, which one has the lowest mean NDVI, which one has the highest. So you can select all of them and then do the data. You can do the sorting again. We're going to sort, for example, just by the first state, see which one has the lowest and smallest to the largest, right? The first one here, this one is pretty low, and you can scroll to the right to take a look at what's the name of the state, Alaska. So Alaska, this is in April, so still in spring, so there's not much vegetation in the northern part. But let's see which one has the highest. 0.61. Alabama, so in the southeast US. But this is only the average, right? So depends on the region, depends on how many pixels in there. But this gives you a quick way to calculate some statistical values based on vector data and using an image and on vector data, and just using one line of code, you can get the result easily. It doesn't matter how many spectral bands you have and how many images you have. You can do that for 1 year, you can do that for multiple years, you can do that by monthly, daily, whatever you want. So all you need to do is just to organize your data as an image and then passing your polygon data. Then you can calculate the zonal statistics. Just need 3 parameters and then set the type, mean, standard deviation, variance, or minimum, maximum. Look at this one in here. You can also export the result. If you want a shape file, you can do it as a SHP or a JSON or other files. But it depends on the final outcome you want. It's very flexible. Okay, so that's all for this video. Hope to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.